You were frozen in the center of the grand entrance, your neck strained from looking up at the towering ceiling. You didn't notice the world moving around you. You was lost in the sheer scale of the mansion. Driver, wait here. The driver commanded, his voice echoing against the marble. I'm going to call Mrs. Dave. You didn't respond. You was too busy tracing the gold leaf patterns on the pillars with your eyes. A few moments later, a middle-aged woman with a sharp disciplined bun and a crisp uniform approached. She looked at you with a scrutinizing gaze. Driver, you asked for a new maid. I brought her, he said simply. Mrs. Hayes has stood over you from your messy hair to the faint smudge stain on your dress. Mrs. J. Very well, you may go. She dismissed the driver, then turned back to you. Follow me. You were still staring at the massive crystal chandelier, your mouth slightly agape. You didn't hear a word. Mrs. J whined. She raised her voice slightly. You jumped, your eyes finally stabbed to the older woman. Why? Did you call me? Mrs. J, yes, come, she said, turning on her heel. You followed, your footsteps sounding small and timid compared to the rhythm kick of Mrs. J's heels. As both walked through the living room, you felt like you had stepped into a dream. The air smelled of expensive sandalwood and fresh trees. The walls were adorned with massive painting and golden frames, and every piece of furniture looked like it belongs in a museum. Where is the king? Whispered suddenly, your voice filled with genuine curiosity. Mrs. J stopped dead in her tracks. She turned around, looking at you as you were speaking a foreign language. Mrs. J, the king? Why, yes, you nodded earnestly. The king of the palace. Mrs. J's expression shifted, a flicker of understanding crossing her face. A king, huh? Mrs. J, they are on a mission, she replied vaguely, her voice roaring. They are not here right now. You started walking again, your head turning left and right, trying to see everything at once. In your excitement, you didn't see the pedestal in front of you. Thump. You stumbled, your shoulder hitting a delicate porcelain vase. It opened generously, but Mrs. Day cocked it just in time, steadying it with practiced hands. Mrs. Day, be careful. Mrs. Day, do you even know how to walk? Keep your eyes on the floor and follow me closely. Why? Is this your house? You asked, seemingly unfazed by the scolding, your eyes wide as you looked at a velvet sofa. Mrs. Day, no, she replied, her tone softening just a fraction. We live here and we work here. This house belongs to the John family. Fine, oh, you read up. Then a small hopeful smile appeared on her lips. They said I would get beautiful dresses here and lots of delicious food. Is that true? Mrs. Day stopped again, her head shaking slightly as she looked at the girl's hopeful eyes. Mrs. Day, who told you that? While my uncle, you said proudly, he sent me here for the dresses and the food. He said I would be very happy here. Mrs. Day looked at you, really looked at you, and saw the devastating truth. The girl hadn't been sent here for a better life. She had been sold into a world of shadows, and she was too innocent to even realize it. Mrs. Day, it didn't have the heart to tell you the truth. Mrs. Day, come, she said quietly, I will show you where you will be staying. When you stepped into the small dormitory room, you found two other girls. One was lounging on her bed while the other was sitting up, her face covered in a white skincare mask. At the sight of Mrs. Day, they both scrambled to their feet, their postures stiff and alert. Mrs. Day, from now on, she will be staying in this room with you, she announced, her voice leaving no room for question. You have understood, ma'am. She, the girl with the mask, replied quickly. Mrs. Day, ensure she is at the workspace by dawn, added before turning and sweeping out of the room. You stood by the door, your eyes wandering curiously from one corner to another. You eventually spotted an empty bed and sat down, feeling the springy mattress beneath you. Why, where do I put my clothes? you asked softly. Juha pointed toward a door within wardrobe. Juha used the empty shape in that cupboard. As he began to unpack, the other two girls exchanged worried glances. They watched as you struggled with your few belongings. Your clothes were clearly hand-me-downs, oversized, faded, and ill-fitting. Your hair was a tangled mess, and you moved with a clumsy slowness that made them nervous. You could not even fold a shirt properly, fumbling with the fabric over and over again. Nina, why did Mrs. D bring someone like her? She whispered to Joha, her voice laced with dread. She looks like she will make a mistake on her very first day. Joha, if she messes up, it won't just be her. She muttered back, her eyes wide with fear. In this house, one person's mistake can get us all killed. We are all going to die because of her incompetence. You, oblivious to the whispers, finish your task and look at them with a tired smile. Why do I sleep? Hina, on that bed, she said, pointing to the one you were sitting on. That's yours. Wake up at dawn. The work starts the moment the sun rises. Why, okay, you said, quickly back, and the moment your head hit the pillow, you gasped. The bed was so soft, unlike the hard, thin mats you had back at your uncle's house. Within seconds, the exhaustion took over, and you fell into a deep, dreamless sleep. The next morning, you felt a rough shove against your shoulder. You blinked your eyes open, disoriented, staring at a face you didn't recognize for a moment. One who, you murmured. Juha woke up. I've forgotten. Where are you already? She snapped. Go get freshen up. Your breakfast is on the table and your uniform is ready. Put it on and be quick. You noticed repeatedly, following the instructions like a child. After washing up, you put on the crisp, black and white maid uniform. You noticed something embroidered on the lapel, a set of dark numbers. Fine, you knew. What is this? You asked, pointing to the digit. Yana looked over while tying her own apron. Yana, this is your maid code. Your serial number 129. The number determines your status and your soul in this house. It's how the masters identify you. One, oh, you whispered, touching the number 129 with your fingers. Yana, eat quickly or we will be late. She urged. You gulped down your breakfast and was hurried along to a massive echoing hall. You stood frozen at the entrance. There were dozens of women there, all dressed exactly like you, standing in silent, perfect rows. It felt mechanical and cold. Mrs. D, everyone check the chart and get to your station. Mrs. D's first room. Maids began to scramble toward a dashboard on the wall, checking their tasks and rushing off. You stood still, staring at the chart. To you, the letters and symbols were just strange, meaningless shape. You could not read a single word. Seeing Juha about to leave, you ran after her, grabbing her shape. Wine, only wait. Juha turned around, looking annoyed. Juha, what now? Wine, you need. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. You said your voice more and embraced. I can't read the board. Juha sighed, snatching the paper from your hand and glancing at your assigned duties. Water the garden in the morning, wash the runs dishes, and water the garden again in the afternoon. It's simple enough. Wine. The garden, your eyes brightened. Where is the garden? Juha, that way. She pointed toward the massive glass doors at the end of the hall. Go to straight, you can't miss it. He nodded and began to walk toward the right. Jungkookff stood before the floor to ceiling mirror, his fingers moving with little precision as he adjusted his cufflinks. His earbuds were stuck firmly in his ear, his voice on the other end sounding frantic. Jungkook, I'm coming right now, he growled into the mic, his voice cold enough to freeze the air. Just keep him tight, don't let him breathe until I get there. He threw on his suit jacket, the fabric stretching over his broad shoulders, and grabbed his keys. Every second was vital. Every second someone was defying his orders was a second too wrong. Jungkook, driver, start the car now. He barked as he stormed down the grand staircase. He reached the driveway, his eyes fixed on the back seat waiting for him, but just as he reached for the door handle, a sudden, cold spray water grazed his shoulder and the side of his face. Jungkook froze. The world seemed to stop. A so terrifying rays buoyed up from his chest. He turned his head slowly, his eyes flashing with a murderous light. Jungkook, who did this? The guards and maids nearby felt their blood run cold. They had seen Jungkook care for much days. Jungkook, bring them here now, he commanded, his jaw squeezed so tight it looked like it might snap. Suddenly his phone vibrated, a high priority call. He glanced at the screen and hissed a curse. He didn't have time for this, not yet. He snapped into the car, his wet suit jacket cringing to his skin like a reminder of the insult. Jungkook, whoever did this, he said to his head of security, his voice a dead whisper through the open window. Make sure to teach them a lesson they will never forget. Handed it. With a screech of terror, the car roared out of the gates. The other side of the tall hedge, you were wrestling with a heavy pulsating hose. The water was spraying in every direction except toward the forward swine. Oh no, stop, please stop. You whispered, your small hand shaking as you tried to control the electric stream. These things is so heavy. Why won't it listen to me? He was trying to wipe the mud off your apron when three security guards marched toward you, their faces masked of grim security. Do you have any idea what you just did? One of them shouted, grabbing the hose from your hand and throwing it aside. The young master, you sprayed the young masters with water. Your heart dropped into your stomach, you breathed his, and your large eyes filled with immediate paralyzing fear. When I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It went that way on its own. Please, it will be careful, don't be mad. It looked so small, so genuinely terrified, cowering as if you expected a blow. The guards looked at each other. Usually a mistake like this meant a trip to the basement, but Jungkook had left in such a hurry, and this girl, she clearly wasn't like the others. She looked like a lost child. You were lucky he's in a rush. The lead guy grunted, though his voice remained stern. If he had stayed, you would not be standing here right now. Get back to work and stay out of sight. Maybe by the time he gets back, he will have more important blood in his hands than yours. You nodded frantically, your tears finally spilling over. You grabbed the hose with trembling fingers. The sound of Jungkook's boots echoed like a deadening against the cool concrete floor. As he stepped into the light, his men stood straighter, their eyes fixed on the floor. In the center of the room, tied to a chair, was a man, battered and bruised, but still defiant. Jungkook tilted his head, his eyes devoid of any warmth. Jungkook finally, Mr. Kim Sejin. Sejin spat blood onto the floor, looking up with a trembling sneer. Sejin, what do you want from me? Jungkook, you know exactly what I want. His voice was so dangerous per the pen drive. Sejin, you will never get it, he gasped, a desperate grin forming on his lips. You won't even find where it's hidden. Jungkook's jaw tightened. The air in the room seemed to vanish as his anger flared. Jungkook, tell me where it is, and you might just walk out of here alive. Sejin, it doesn't matter, he whispered. You may kill me whether I talk or not. A dark twitch smile put at the corner of Jungkook's mouth. Without a second of hesitation, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a sleek back pistol. Bang, bang, bang. 3 shots rang out, defending in the enclosed space. Sejin's body went limp instantly. Warm blood splattered across Jungkook's cheek and the lapel of his expensive suit. He didn't even flinch. He holstered his weapon and looked at his man. Jungkook, clean this up, find the others, and get me that pen drive. I want it by morning. Back at the mansion, the long-running day had finally come to an end. You had changed into a simple, worn-out night dress, your body aching from the unfamiliar labor. Yuna, I thought today would never end. She sighed, collapsing onto her bed. Juha, my whole day was spent in that kitchen. Juha added, her eyes utterly closing. Wine is, dear dad. Wine. Yes, Unni, you replied softly, your voice tired but gentle. Juha, good, everyone go to sleep. We have to be up at dawn again, she mumbled. The room fell into a heavy silence as everyone drifted off. You lay there for a while, listening to the steady breathing of the other girls. Suddenly, your throat felt burst, a dry, burning sensation that would not go away. You reached out for a water jug on the bedside table, but it was bone dry. With a small sigh, you climbed out of bed. You moved quietly, not wanting to wake the others, and stepped out into the dark hallway to find the kitchen. At the same time, the heavy front doors of the mansion swung open. Jungkook stepped inside, his shoulders heavy with the weight of the day's violence. The house was shrouded in the dark. The servants had all retired, and the silence was suffocating. He didn't bother turning to the lights. He knew every inch of this fortress by heart. He was heading toward the stairs, the faint scent of gunpowder and blood still clinging to his skin, when suddenly a soft figure collided with his chest. The impact was so unexpected that both of them stumbled. Instinctively, Jungkook's arms shot out of catch that person before they hit the marble floor. Holder closed, his grip firm and iron-like. He was ready to bark a lethal order, ready to punish whoever was wandering his halls in the dark. Jungkook, his voice started sharp and dangerous, but then a silver of light from a cracked door nearby spread across the hallway, illuminating their faces. Jungkook's sword dried in his throat. Found himself staring down into a pair of large innocent eyes that were white with shock. Your skin was pale in the moonlight, and you looked so fragile, like a porcelain doll that would shatter if he squeezed through her.